meeting of the Caledonia Township Board of Trustees. It is our regular meeting for Wednesday, September 3rd, and I will begin with the call to order and the roll call. So, Mr. Snowick.
Here.
Mr. Hermanette is absent. Mr. Bradshaw.
Here.
Mr. Harrison is absent. Ms. Henry is here. Mr. Zoller.
Here.
Mr. Robertson.
Here.
We do have a quorum, so we will move on. Item 2 is Pledge of Allegiance and Invocation. Please stand if you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight and thank you for the privilege that we have to live in a free country and in this community. We thank you for the people that are here, and we thank you for those who have put us in this position. We just pray that you would help us to do our best tonight, help us work well together, and for the benefit of all those who live in this great community. We thank you for those who provide safety and care for us. We think of our fire department and our armed services and those in the medical field, and we just ask that you would continue to be with them, keep them safe, and thank you for all that we have. In your name we pray, amen. Okay. Next, I would like to make a motion that we appoint Trustee Bradshaw as President Pro Tem in the absence of Supervisor Harrison for this evening.
Support.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, carry on, sir.
All right. Next is our consideration of the meeting agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda, or do we have a motion to approve it as is tonight?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I thought we were going to table motion D to get legal according to Trustee Bradshaw and our decision. So make a motion that we approve the meeting agenda minus item D that's tabled to get legal advice on.
Okay.
Could I ask for clarification?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have two motions on the table, none yet
I'll
supported.
withdraw mine.
Okay, so now we have one. Maybe it makes sense that we leave D on the agenda so that we could have discussion and then
Okay.
end up tabling it via discussion?
It's fine with me.
Okay. So
I'll withdraw mine.
perfect.
Okay.
You can reinstate yours. And I'll support you.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
All right.
Okay.
We have a motion and support to approve the agenda. Any additional comments? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we have an agenda. Item number 4 is public comment. This is brief, up to 2 minutes, about anything you may want to talk to the township.
I'll come back with my 5 later on. I came in July because people were dumping yard waste in the wetlands behind Caledonia. Got no results. Came to the board meeting in August. Still happening. No one's put a camera up. No one came there. I told you they do it on Sunday afternoon. I'm busy sometimes. And I don't get paid to do that. That's your job, to find someone to go out there to film them or take care of what needs to be done. I know you sent a letter, but it looks like crap. You need to take care of what needs to be taken care of. That's what you get paid for. If I was there, I'd be there on Sunday afternoon, or I'd have someone there. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, because that's when they're doing it. So I don't know why it's not being done. It's grass in the wetlands. They added stuff last week, or this past week, and I'm sure they'll be out there on Sunday. Maybe it's a family friend. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but I'm calling the Department of Natural Resource or Energy or whatever those people are. I'm going to let them know that you are not doing your job, and it's happening in the wetlands. I'm going to put it on Caledonia Facebook page. I'm going to start campaigning against it if you're not going to do what you need to do. I'll see you in 5.
Guess I'm lost.
It might be a half hour, whatever, but I'll see you in 5 more minutes. I'll take care of it. I'll take my 5 minutes later.
All right, is there anyone else for public comment?
Hilarious stuff.
Just wanted to let the board know, I know we're gonna have some discussions about our insurance this evening, so that's why I'm here tonight, just to hopefully have a voice for, fellow employees that spoke to me at a time, so just giving you a heads up as we get into discussion, different types, I'd like to be a part of it, so, thank you.
Thanks, Chief. All right, last call for public comment. Seeing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move on to number 5, inquiry of conflict of interest. Does anyone on the board have a conflict of interest for any of our agenda items this evening to disclose? All right, seeing none, we'll continue on to the consent agenda. You have some items in your packet on the consent agenda, and if you reviewed those and would like to move those ahead, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Zoller, support by Snoink to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Nothing on reports from boards, officers, and staff. We did have a manager's report in the consent agenda. Nothing in correspondence or unfinished business, so next is 10, new business. Item A is a discussion or motion to approve extending a lateral to unserved parcels on Campo Lake Drive. And within your packet, we do have a memo from the township engineer. And Allison, do you want to maybe briefly summarize that for us, please?
Absolutely. So when the sewer system was put in at Campo Lake, residents bought credits so that when they wanted to build on properties in the future, the township will be required to put in sewer. We have a few properties that are eligible for sewer. I should have put this as public sewer, but we have it written as lateral. Todd was out of the office and wasn't there to give us the name, but it is public sewer. The parcels are eligible for sewer. They would like that sewer to be installed. They want to put a road on top of it to form a cul-de-sac, but they won't put the cul-de-sac in until the public sewer is installed because they don't want to rip up the road later. So what they're asking for is that the township will go out for bid and install that public sewer. And right now, we haven't gotten all the easements we need in order to do the project, but we would like for this approval to be conditional on approval of the easements from the property owners.
Okay. Any discussion, comments, concerns from
Do I
the board?
recall, Allison, that, and maybe an email from you, that you weren't seeing the urgency of this, and why is it urgent?
I asked the road commission the same thing. I was told that they want to get the road finished before winter because it's likely to cost more if we wait until next spring, and they want it because Campo Lake Drive, where the road is a public road, so they're required to plow it. So they would prefer to have it done before the snow comes so that their trucks can get back there to plow.
It's not like they don't have enough projects going on already, to be honest with you.
Plus, we don't have our easements, so.
The road commission has to get the easements, but they asked that we get this approval conditional on the approval of the easements.
Can anyone speak to, wasn't it just a couple of years ago that this was a quote-unquote paper road that we?
It's always been a paper road,
That
Joni. In fact, the first time I went out there and somebody told me that was Seminole Street, I couldn't believe it. How can this be a street? It looked like a woods to me. But it is a right-of-way that actually at one point I think went all the way through to McCord's. But when the assessment district was set up, for some unbelievable reason, they fully assessed these parcels. So it's not only that they're eligible, it means they've already in a sense paid to be connected. And so we really don't have the opportunity to say, no, we're not going to extend sewer in there. And so this caught us a few years ago. If you look at the bottom there across the boat launch area, we had to extend sewer at our expense over there in order to serve some properties because there wasn't enough laterals available to serve the homes that had already been assessed. So this is something that dates back to the 90s, and ever since I saw it, see Marsh in the audience, we've scratched our head over this 100 times. But we're obligated to the sewer, And so whether it's now or next season or whatever, we have to put it in. So if the timing is such that the easements are granted, then and the road commission wants to proceed with it, then I guess for our purposes, we have to provide the sewer. So the only thing that would get in the way, I guess, would be the easements.
Right. And I agree, and the road commission is willing to pay for the road itself completely, but they want us to put in the sewer. And they believe that whether we pay for the public sewer to be put in now versus the spring, there really won't be much of a cost difference. They actually think the price might go up if we wait. So their argument was they would like to put it in earlier than later so their trucks can get back there. And I believe Seminole Drive is actually not a road anymore. They got rid of it. I think it's now, is it McCord's now or?
No, it was
Campbell
always
Lake?
McCord's. It was Seminole, right?
Now they're calling it Camp Lake Drive.
Yeah.
Well, the part, I guess, if you're considering that a drive, but the part that, what direction would that be? The part that's going east from Camp Lake Drive, that used to be Seminole.
Correct.
And there were a number of parcels on there, on Seminole. And so have they abandoned Seminole? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, now they're calling it Campo Lake Drive.
Oh,
So
like
they're-
just like a U-shaped Camp Lake Drive. Okay.
Make a motion to approve subject to Kent County getting their easements.
Support.
All right, motion by Zoller, support by Snoink. I guess I would just add that I'm also in support of this. I'm concerned about the construction schedule. You know, sounds like our township engineer needs to put really basic plans together so that there's something to bid. But if it looks like we're gonna lead that bid process, that alone's gonna take 3 weeks. The road commission's probably gonna need 3 weeks for the cul-de-sac. We're gonna need maybe 2 to do the underground work. There's just not that much time left in the fall. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, but seems evident we need to provide sanitary sewer service to these parcels. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Next is 10B, discussion or motion to improve employee health insurance renewal beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. We have a great cover memo prepared by Township Manager Nugent, and if you could walk us through some of these highlights, please.
Absolutely. So I brought the insurance to the board about a month ago, and then I was asked to get more quotes, which I did. I got a quote from the pool, United Health, and then OBD, that is our current liability provider. OBD and Acrisure are both larger insurance brokers that can pull various quotes. However, my conclusion is still that I would recommend that the township go with the healthcare that we have right now, through the MAP renewal. I understand that it is more expensive, but I think that the plan that we have, we will never get a better plan than what we have. And I believe that it is a large factor in retaining our employees, and it's a benefit for our employees. It's almost unheard of to have deductibles this low. This plan is actually a grandfathered plan. Once we move away from it, we are on the ACA plan, which means that every employee that is eligible for health insurance will pay based on their age. The current plan, they pay one rate, whether they're employee only, a double, or a family. So they're not rated based on age or penalized. Even though the Blue Cross Blue Shield is a better coverage, I was told by our advisor that they are not doing well financially in the marketplace. He would not recommend that the township goes with them, because what happens when it's 100% covered after the deductible is that people use it so much that the next renewal, it ends up being a lot higher. And the Blue Cross Blue Shield renewals are 15 to 18% higher than what Priority Health is, which is only 12%, and it's pretty consistent across the board. There's also the concern of when you move away from a provider, you create disruption, because not all doctors take the same type of health care. So some employees may have to go to a different doctor or provider, which would cause people to have a disruption in how they get their health care. So my recommendation would be to continue with our mapped renewal at the rate that Acrisure provided.
Okay, Treasurer Robertson?
Was this the one that we wanted off the agenda?
No,
No.
Which one?
no. D.
Yeah,
one.
item,
B,
Item
oh, I'm
D.
sorry.
D.
D,
D is in dog.
oh, I get it, okay.
I did provide an additional memo with more thoughts as well. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look it over, but it just kind of says like the post-ACA plans, you're rated based on age. So somebody who's 65 or older is going to pay $1,349.88 per month just based on their age, where somebody who's 0 to 14 is only paying $344.22. So you're penalized. The older you get, the more you pay. Our current system that we have is you pay the same rate individually, whether you're 25 or 65. So it's fair across the board. It's a lower rate. It costs us more, but it's better insurance for our employees.
I support the manager's recommendation.
I am far from an insurance expert, but help me understand, if you're 65 and over, when does Medicare kick in? How does that work for an employee if they're still working?
Absolutely. I think that's a really great question. So Medicare coverage and private insurance, the way that it works is that if you have 20 or more employees, whether they're full or part-time, they can use the private insurance as their primary and the Medicare as their secondary. If you have less than 20 employees, full-time and part-time combined, their primary has to be Medicare. So if we have more than 20 employees, so they can choose to use our insurance plan as their primary and use Medicare as their secondary. They can also decide if they would like to not take the insurance, but that is the benefit of having an organization that is more than 20 people.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal of priority health coverage through Acrisure at a cost of $237,625 for the plan year October 1 through September 30, 2026.
All right, we have a motion by Henry, support by Robertson. Any further discussion on this item? I guess I'll just briefly add that this is I've been at a few different organizations, and what a great benefit that we're providing staff. I know they appreciate it, so just want to acknowledge that this is probably some of the best insurance in Kent County, this whole region. It's a great benefit, so but that's really all I've got. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Next, 10C, a motion to approve to improve the renewal of insurance for life, dental, vision, and accidental death and dismemberment coverage for the 25-26 plan year under the existing cost-sharing structure. Again, we have a good memo prepared by the township manager. If you could walk us through some of these highlights, please.
Absolutely. So I asked for ancillary quotes from OBD and United, and I did get some really great comparisons. And my recommendation does state to go with Delta Dental and Omaha, Mutual of Omaha. However, since making this recommendation, I have had some employees reach out to me concerned that Delta Dental is not accepted by most dental providers. I don't know if Dick can speak more to that, but I know that when some employees found out that we could potentially be moving to Delta, they called their provider and they were told that they wouldn't accept it. So they have asked that we stay on Guardian for both vision and dental insurance. It is a higher cost, but it is also, there was no change from last year. The cost remained the same this year as it was last year. And people are very happy with the Guardian insurance. The township board can decide to go with the better rate. It will definitely cause disruption for dental and vision, but it is up to the board to decide what they would like to go with for ancillary coverage.
Okay.
Well, since Allison mentioned it, there's expression that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably something we ought to look at. And in Allison's original memo that was included in the packet, Delta Dental was described as being better coverage, including oral surgery, endo, perio, not covered by Guardian. And I can tell you that that's not an accurate statement. You know, some employees in the office that have Guardian have told me that Guardian did cover crown procedures, which would be a procedure, a root canal, which is being suggested here is not covered. It is covered, and if you look at the handout from Guardian itself, it talks about basic services being covered at 80%. So I think that's not an accurate statement. The biggest issue when it comes to Delta, which used to be the gold standard of dental insurance, when I came into practice, everything was Delta Dental. And quite frankly, I think they got too big for their britches, and then they started telling the dental community what they would pay. And to give you an example of that, is that a procedure in an office, let's say a crown procedure, is $1,100 roughly right now. It was $250 when I started my practice 40 years ago, so it's gone up. But out of that, Delta will approve only $750 of that, and then the participant still has to pay 50 or 80% of that, or is only covered 50 to 80% of that. So there's a big gap between what you would be able to do. And this is why, at least around this part of the county, and I don't know every dentist, and I've been out of it for quite a while now, but most dentists will not accept dental. And so I've talked to some of the employees in the office that I'm familiar with, and they basically said if it goes to dental, we're going to have to find new dentists. And I think people get fairly attached to their healthcare providers. And while, you know, this might be something that economically is good for the township, I don't think it makes sense for our employees. And I would be more inclined to stay with the Guardian program, because I don't think we're getting an accurate picture of it. In fact, when we looked even at that OVD comparison, Allison, I don't know if you did, but there are all these yellow dots. What did those mean?
They never told me what those meant.
Right. Well, I think the idea, maybe there's, the best I can think of it is, you know, they'll pay 80% of the fee that they think it should be, and not 80% of what the fee really is. And so I think that a lot of people on Delta, and I know practices that switched to get to, or their patients had their employer switch to Delta, left the practices because of the fact that they weren't getting good coverage that way with their existing insurance, and a lot of those have filtered back because the dentists, I don't want to be too critical here, but the dentists that are accepting Delta tend to be the corporate dentists like the Aspen Dentals, the Lavenders, or perhaps new dentists that are trying to build a practice and they figure, you know, I just need bodies in here, so I'll take whatever insurance I can get. But for established practices, which are most of the ones around here, most of them will not accept Delta, and I think it would be a great burden on our employees, certainly on this side of the building, and I think Scott had checked me with some of his people as well. So my recommendation would be would be to stay with the Guardian plan that we currently have.
Is that recommendation in the form of a motion?
I will make that a motion.
And number two, the vision, your recommendation is Mutual Omaha. And it says that we'll have LASIK coverage, which is not covered by Guardian, but trade-off is you get new frames every 24 months versus 12.
It's less.
Is there anything else that's a concern with Mutual Omaha, or is that the one we should go with?
I think the biggest concern is that it was brought to my attention that when some of the employees contacted their vision doctors, they didn't accept Mutual of Omaha. I think though if we go with Guardian, we should just stay with the entire Guardian package. It is, the difference with vision is it's not very significant that I would say to go another way with those two. I would keep it in Guardian.
Okay, to clarify Treasurer Robertson's motion, does that motion cover Guardian for vision and life as well,
Yes.
or just dental? Okay, so we have a motion to move forward with Guardian for the dental, vision, and voluntary life AD&D. Do we have support?
Support.
Okay, is there any further discussion on these items? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And the motion passes. Item 10D is to approve 6 installations of pressure-reducing valves at Portview Flats and Davenport's Panther Ridge at a total cost of $37,815. And this is the item that we wanted to talk a little bit more about and potentially table. We do have a memo in our packet kind of explaining how the pressure is anticipated to increase due to the significant pumps that we just installed as we're connecting to the City of Grand Rapids system, so that we can push that water throughout our water system. However, immediately adjacent to those pumps are these buildings, so their pressure is going to increase above approximately 80 pounds per square inch, PSI. When that happens, that can be detrimental to the piping within a building. So the cure for that is to install pressure reducing valves on each of those buildings so that it lowers the pressure before it enters. My personal concern is using public funds to do these things in private buildings and what liability it may create for us if there's an issue in 1 year or 5 years or 10 years. So I've asked to get some guidance from the township attorney just to make sure what's a good process, or should we draft some sort of an agreement with these property owners that they sign off and basically reduce liability of the township by having that agreement. So that's my personal concern. Is there?
I'll make a motion, we table this.
All right.
Support.
We have a motion from Robertson and support by Zoller to table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Table that motion. And the last item on our new business agenda for tonight is to approve cyber insurance with Tokyo Marine through OVD at a cost of $3,144.15. Again, we have a summary memo in our packet, but Manager Nugent, please give us another brief summary.
Absolutely. So I got 3 quotes for cyber insurance. We are required to have it. The lowest quote was from Acrisure. It was for $24.92. And while it was cheaper, the coverage liability was capped at $250,000. The coverage through Tokyo Marine, through OVD, who is our liability insurer, was $31,4415, and the coverage was up to $1 million. OVD explained to me that while CFC is larger, it's not recommended to have coverage that's lower than $1 million. And so I do recommend that the township go with Tokyo Marine at a cost of $3,144.15. And while I was able to get our liability coverage to go from July 16th to December 31st, cyber coverage only goes 12 months, so we will have to renew every single year. They can't extend it. So that is the coverage for 1 year.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this item? Would entertain a motion, seeing no discussion.
So moved.
Support.
Is your motion to follow the township manager's recommendation?
It is.
Okay. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right, we have another opportunity for public comment, this time up to 5 minutes. If you have anything you would like to talk about, please step up to the podium, share your name and address.
Chris Thomas.
All right,
This is fun to do, by the way. Delta Dental, you can get reimbursed for that. I have Delta Dental and you get reimbursed. But I'm glad you went with better plan for the employees, that's awesome, because I'd rather spend my money on them. They're good people that run this township, so thanks for doing that. Deep Roots, you know, they're a great job over there at Deep Roots. Yeah, I don't know if you remember where that field was just a barren waste. And I don't know if we've ever recognized them as a township. It'd be really cool to recognize the young people that run that. Probably bring lots of tax dollars here. They do a great job for our community. I think they bring fun for our kids, for our adults, and they do a lot of positive things for our community. So it'd be kind of cool to see them recognized sometime in our community, and maybe you've already done it, and maybe you're already planning on doing it. I just thought I'd give my two cents on that. But I invite you to walk the trail, and look at the difference. Look at the difference when you start right behind the library. It's pretty nice. And then you cross that first bridge, or it's right before you get to the first bridge. Maybe it's right after cross. Anyway, it's in that area. And you look to the left, and you'll see the waste that's continuing to grow. Grass clippings, flowers that they cut off, the plants that come up, and they just cut it off, branches. For years, they've been doing this. Does anyone walk that trail? Do you have anyone to observe that stuff? I don't know. It doesn't take a whole lot. It's a good exercise. I've lost 20 pounds, by the way, in the last couple of months, and my blood pressure's up, so I figured I'd get it up tonight. But it's a beautiful trail. You see owls down there. They're really cool. Real big one I saw last year. Right before dark, so I wasn't in it at dark time. The deer, just a beautiful place to walk. But then this one area is just trashed. And I've asked you over and over again to get this taken care of since the middle of July. I was nice at first. I wasn't yelling like I am now, or where it was earlier. But it's so beautiful. Why are we not caring to take care of it? It doesn't take a whole lot to have someone go there or put a camera up. You're allowed to do that. It's public land. You're allowed. It's America. That's the First Amendment. You're allowed to video. It's okay. If I'm there on a Sunday afternoon, I'll do it. But a lot of times I'm busy. Motor vehicles. I've noticed a lot of motor vehicles on there. I know the carts are allowed there, but motorcycles, mopeds, kids and that. And it's a walking trail, and they just come down there and whoosh, zip right by you. So I don't know, again, but you guys don't monitor it, so who would know? But I just don't understand why we can't get this taken care of. I know you sent letters, and the waste is only behind one house. So I'm sure people aren't walking 10 houses down to do it. Right? But you don't know that for sure, so I'm not going to tell them that's them. I can't go to their door and say something because they'll say I'm harassing them. I sit out there and wait, but I can't be there all the time. A little video, little camera. It'll take minutes to put up. Put it back a little ways, and it'll be taken care of. Because I'm sure it's going to happen this Sunday. They'll be out there again doing their yard, and it'll be there again. So I don't know if you care or if you're going to take care of it. We shouldn't have to care of it. I shouldn't have to pay someone to take care of it. My tax dollars should not be going to that. The people that put it there should be taking care of it. So take 5 minutes. It's a 3-minute walk back there. That's it. Probably that to the other side of the parking lot, and you'd be there. It's that close. So you don't have to go walk the whole trail. So, it's interesting that it hasn't got done. So, I'll just keep coming back because I don't mind coming back. It doesn't matter to me as long as I'm not busy. I was either working out today. I'll go to the gym later. That's why I'm dressed like this. I just would hope that our people that we're paying tax dollars for would go and take care of that. Sunday afternoon, it will be done. I think they go to church in the morning, so take care of that.
Okay. Is there any additional public comment?
I just want to thank the board for the decisions made tonight. I know it was presented to you, sometimes we look at things in dollars and cents, but obviously employee insurance ties to all of us here that take that. And personally, I know myself, I have some doctors, you know, that I've worked with for a while, been through some health issues, and I would have been forced to change, you know, lose that history. So it means something to the employees, and I want to commend you for that, listening to us and saying, hey, you know, this means something to us. And actually, as a taxpayer too, I did probably more research on insurance plans than I care to go through. Manager Nugent spent a lot of time on it as well, and I mean, I personally think even with the healthcare plan that we renewed, being a pre-ACA, I looked into what was the benefit of being a Affordable Care Act plan. And, you know, that's gonna, I think, save us actually in the long run, because right now when I budget for my employees, you're either single, you're a couple, or you're family. And once we go away from that, now you're looking at how old each person is, and then once their kids reaches 19, if I'm not mistaken, they become adults, even though they're still on until 26. So the upfront look good, but if we retain our employees and have them for a long time, it's just saying they're only gonna cost us more down the road. And right now, I'm luckily, you know, not much different than one of my younger guys that has a family when we're looking for numbers. So, and to be honest, I asked everybody, I talked to a lot of people, said, hey, I'll be your rep. I have no problem standing in front of the board and talking. But did anybody have a problem with, you know, the rates going up? Because obviously, you know, by saving on the plan, you're saving us too, because we're like a 20%, you know, in the plan as well. And that one person said, you know, I'm against a higher rate plan because they're comfortable with doctors they have, the coverage we have, we're familiar, don't have to change. I've been through changing the dentist a few times, and I get that is how it is. And some of my people say, yeah, we've stayed with ours, we play the game that we pay out of pocket, and then we, you know, we reimburse, and you're correct, the insurance company says, well, that dentist may charge X for a filling, but we'll only give you half that, you know, and that's what you get after the fact. So I'm not a gambling person, that's why I've stayed with a dentist that still takes the Guardian, and I wasn't looking forward to looking for another one. So, and I think, you know, a gratitude to Manager Nugent too. I know she spent a lot of time digging through this, went back and forth. You guys asked for, you know, comparisons, and like I say, I went through some of the stuff with her and read through things, and I could not believe how much difference there is. But I kind of feel like it's a used car thing too. People will tell you, this is what I offer you, but you got to get underneath and look and really what is inside of that vehicle, what's the engine, what's all the stuff that goes with it. And it's really hard to get an apples to apples comparison. And at the end of the day, the decision you made tonight, again, I just want to commend you on that, because I think all of the employees that take insurance are going to be satisfied to know, even though our percentage is like 12% higher than what we were paying last year, we know we have a good benefit with the insurance we have. And it is something that I sell people on when they come to our department, when I talk about that. So again, I just want to thank you for the decision you made tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on public comment tonight? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to board comments. Trustee Snoink, anything?
No, other than I agree that Aspen is not or Delta Insurance is not a good way to go. But, and coming from an insurance policy and private company, looking, wife and I, many years, we $13,500 for deductible every year. And so I hope the employees of this township realize what we've given them, because that's the norm.
Okay. I don't have anything to add tonight. Clerk Henry?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. Trustee Zoller?
I'm all set.
Treasurer Robertson? All right.
Motion adjourned.
There we go.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are